All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And again, we have an absolutely packed call today. This is one of the busiest calls I've actually seen in a while. So this is awesome. Again, if you want to go ahead and confirm that you can hear me, feel free to do so in the chat window. Viewer 3, I think you mentioned that you can't see, you can't hear us, but everyone else can. So maybe we just weren't talking at the moment you logged on. Let us know. So everyone, here we go. Today we are talking about time blocking. Now, if you've noticed in this little screen that I've got in front of me, this is not my time block calendar yet. We're going to take a minute to get some perspective before we even go into the time block calendar. What I want to focus with you guys on mindset-wise first is absolutely key. What we know in this industry now is that if you are not lead generating at least 2 hours a day, again, if you are not lead generating at least 2 hours a day, you are not making it in this business. And lead generation, therefore, is the key, the crux, the absolute first and foremost priority in our business. So how are we going to control our day? How are we going to plan for our day? You guys that are at Exit know that I'm a big planner. I love business plans. I love accountability and goal setting. But what I love the most is making sure that you guys have every single tool available to you that will help you succeed in lead generation. So what are the three sources of lead generation? Well, there's three funnels, we call them. And before we get into our time block calendar, I want to put, again, this in perspective. The first funnel is prospecting and farming. This is a cool little graphic that Travis did for me. If you guys have not checked out my LinkedIn blog yet, there is a great blog on time blocking, but we've adjusted that today. We've done some cool new things we're going to talk about today on that LinkedIn blog. But this is a graphic he did for me, and these are the three funnels. The first funnel is prospecting and farming. So that's door knocking, that's cold calling, that's all that old school stuff like open houses and flyers and direct mail. That stuff all still works. We know it works, but you have to time block to do it. Referrals and Sphere. We love referrals because guess what? Referrals don't cost us any money. They're fun. They're more likely to close than some other sources of leads because guess what? They're referred from a friend or a trusted associate. So we love referrals, but guess what? You have to time block in order to build those referral relationships. We're going to talk about that today as well. And last but not least, paid leads. Controversial for some people. I don't find it controversial. If you like to pay for leads, guess what? This is a call for you as well. Because if you are paying for leads from Zillow or Realtor.com or anywhere else, you have got to also follow up. And you have to time block for that. So with that in perspective, here are your three sources of lead generation. All three sources have to be time blocked for. What is a time block calendar going to look like? So I've been using a time block calendar for many, many years. It is, and for those of you that have been here a while with us, this will not look new to you. It may look a little different today, and I'm going to explain to you why. But the time block calendar is so key to your day because it is getting the most important things out of the way before life gets in the way. This is something I've been saying to you for a while. You're hearing it from other coaches all around the industry. Get that 2 hours of lead generation out of the way right away in the morning before life gets in the way. Here is what I recommend, and this is coming from years and years of trial and error, more error than anything else, and I think I've finally found a good groove the last couple years. We don't have time for me to show you my personal production, nor do I really think you'd care, but my production's gone up between 20 and 40% every year for the past 6 years, and that is a direct result of building referrals. It's a direct result of time blocking for my lead generation. It's a direct result of using the 411. We're going to talk about the 411 in a little bit here as well. If you watched the video already that I put out there this morning, that is the 5 cornerstones to our coaching program. That is what you need to be tracking. One of those 5 cornerstones is this time block calendar. Let's go right into it. If you are an exercise person, and I have a blog on this too, if you are an exercise person, the time to get that out of the way is early in the morning. If you don't want to exercise, I don't care, that's fine, don't exercise, but get up early. If you're not up early and starting your day, you are missing out. A lot of us got into real estate because, well, we didn't want someone else to tell us what time to start. Unfortunately, the reality is if you're not starting early, your business is not open and you're missing out, because what's going to happen is if you don't get your exercise or your affirmations, we've got a blog out on affirmations as well. If you don't get an affirmation out, an exercise session in, something to prepare you for the day, and then get right into your day. I'm going to highlight some things here. So if you see here, I've got this, my workout is done by 8 in the morning. Actually, these days, I've been doing it at 6 this week. I'm done by 7. I'm starting this green area, this hunter green area. This is coming in at the 8 o'clock hour now, even for me some mornings. I'm moving it earlier because I'm getting results. So get your affirmations done, get your exercise done before anything else, and you're already mentally ready for the day. We know this. There are hundreds of studies out there about it, but this is not an exercise class today. This is a productivity class. So relating to productivity, what do you do and when? If you've tuned out the first 8 minutes, please turn your volume up now, because this is where we make some money. What I used to do was I'd tell you, we'll time block for 2 hours a day of lead generation. Then I kind of leave it at that, and I'd let you figure out what that was. I want to give you more guidance now, and this is based on Core. If you guys are not already reading the Core book, please pick it up. It is just absolutely so amazing for my business and the businesses of a lot of our agents. What you're going to want to see here is that the first thing you're doing in the morning, you're getting your social media out of the way. You're getting your, so see this 9 o'clock hour, all 5 days of the work week, you work all 5 days. All 5 days have social media, BDs, that stands for birthdays, and anniversaries. What am I talking about? Well, guess what? That is anything that you want to post on social media. So that is a new listing, a educational video. It's a event that you're holding for your VIPs, for your past clients. Anything you want to talk about, the best time to do that is on the drive-in in the morning. Well, it's not your drive. Maybe you're working at home, but it is the drive-in of everyone else. So in that 8 to 9 o'clock hour, you've got your social media posts up for the day. If you followed me on social media, you know I'm up and out, and there's a message out there. There's a call to action. There's something. That social media is done now. It's not done at 12 and 1 and 2 in the afternoon. It is done early. You get it out of the way. You also look on your social media, on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook. They both have birthday features. You get those people acknowledged. And if they are in your core group, what I mean by core group is your VIPs, your past clients, your referral army. Those people need a personal note from you. Those people, let me say that again, need a personal note from you, a birthday card, a acknowledgement, a phone call. That is when this gets done. It gets done bright. It gets done early. It is not a message on their wall on Facebook that gets eaten up with the thousands of other ones they get. You send a personal note, a birthday card, something with a little $5 Starbucks gift card in it. That is done first thing. That is job 1 in the morning. Personal notes, we track them on our greatness tracker. If you don't know what a greatest tracker is, email me. I'll get you a copy. We also do ANDs. What is ANDs? That's anniversaries. That is, yes, you can congratulate people on their personal anniversary of their wedding day. I got to be honest with you, though, I really don't care about that as much as I care about their housing anniversary. A lot of you I see on this call from Exit that logged in with your name, you have lots of past clients. And I am wondering, do you send them something? Hey, guess what? It's been a year. It's been 2 years. It's been 5 years. Happy housing anniversary. Happy closing anniversary. What a great time we had. Here is a Starbucks gift card. Here is a little bottle of wine you've hand delivered to them, or maybe sent out with a messenger, or your RP1 if you've got an assistant. This all gets done right at the beginning of the day. So that's what your first hour is. Does that make sense? Your first half hour. Any questions about that, feel free to talk in the dialogue box. That is done in a half hour. So you've already reached out and made personal connections and reinforced personal connections with people your first half hour in the office or in your home office. That's pretty darn amazing. Then what are you going to do? Every day, it's a different day. It's themed days. So these themed days, there's a reason for it. Okay, on Mondays, this 2 hours, I'm going to call VIPs. So I've already done my birthdays, already done my anniversaries, my social media. I'm going to call VIPs. Who are VIPs? This is your referral army. These are your good friends. These are your lenders that give you business. These are the people when you turn around and you fill out your money at the end of the month. And what I mean by your money, when you turn around to fill out not only your lead tracker, but your pay log. If you don't know what those are, please email me. If you fill out your lead tracker and your pay log and you have this person's name in there over and over again because they give you business, they send you names, that is a VIP. The VIPs get a call and you do it a letter a week. So what does that mean? So this week, if I called my A's, that's everybody with the last name A that's a VIP. How do you know they're VIPs? Because you've put them in your database as such. So I hope you guys have a really good database management system. We have one at Exit called Promo Shop. If you're not using it, oh wow, let's talk. We got to get this going. So your VIPs, they're in your database. You call a letter a week. So guess what? There's 52 weeks in the year. How many times do you touch each letter then? Twice a year. That's 2 personal phone calls a year saying, hey, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. What's going on? What's new? Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. I'm just checking up on you. Hope you're doing well. Is there anything I can do for you? Good day. Click. Okay, that is your VIPs. What a cool way to stay in touch with them. Are you doing it right now? If you're not, you're missing out. They're actually fun calls. Tuesday, after you get done with your social media, your birthdays and your anniversaries, you have status calls. Now, if you notice here, right in the middle of status calls, I have this little blue thing. And for me, I've color-coded blue with office stuff. So obviously, as the coach of our office, I've got some things on here that I hope you attend to. 411 accountability. I cannot say enough about it. I actually will talk about it a little bit more later, but this is a great way to go beyond your weekly schedule to your monthly goals and your yearly goals. So here very quickly is a plug for 411. That this is your yearly goals, your monthly goals, and your weekly goals, which really end up being almost a task list. That is a great session. I'm making time. I'm taking a break in my calls to do it, or I am showing up early for my calls. So this is something going back to the timing of these calls. People say, well, I'll get it done in the afternoon, then I'll move these to the afternoon. No, you won't. Here's why you won't. Life gets in the way. If you don't do these at the beginning of the day and control this time, this is not a time to be scrolling through social media after you're done wishing people happy birthdays. This is not a time to be returning client calls yet. This is not a time to be doing anything except what you're supposed to be doing in this exact moment. Okay? So what we're doing now, what I've done, I bought an egg timer. This is a little egg timer like you see on top of ovens back in the day. And I put in 60 minutes at a time. And I say, okay, this 60 minutes, I'm not going to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to check my Facebook. I'm not going to look outside my window. I am going to make calls, and I'm going to track those calls in my greatness tracker. If you don't know what the greatness tracker is, message me. Okay, but back to this point here. If you let this move, this green area move into the afternoon or move into another day, it won't happen. Life will get in the way. Your clients start to really figure out they need you or they want something, or a friend has an issue right around this 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock hour. And guess what? Your capabilities of coming back and getting these done in a motivated, high energy way like you would have done them in the morning are gone. So get this done first thing in the morning. I recommend between 8 and 10 a.m., which is what I've been doing this week, or at the latest, 9 to 11 a.m. At that point, if you can do all 5 days of these, and we're going to go through the themes for the rest of the days here shortly. If you can do all 5 days of these in the first 2 hours of the day, I really don't care what you do in the afternoon, as long as it's legal and ethical, of course. But you can go back to your day. When I was really operating at a high level as an agent, and I wasn't coaching or owning offices, what I did was I would get in the office by 9. I do my 2 hours of calls, I get appointments set up, I build some relationships, and I was out of there. And if it was warm weather in the afternoon, I could do whatever I want. I wasn't doing any of this stuff I just highlighted. I was hanging out until my showings in the evening. So I had all different kinds of time to do something like volunteer, even though I, to be honest with you, didn't volunteer. But I was having a great, productive morning so that I was able to do whatever I wanted in the afternoon until my evening clients. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Let's go back to Tuesday. So status calls. What are status calls? Status calls are checking in on your existing clients. If you've been around a while and you're talking to people, what do they say the most about the realtor if the realtor was bad? My realtor never reached out to me. I never heard from my realtor. They put a sign in my yard and I never heard from them again. Or I never heard from my deal between the time I went under contract and the time I closed. That is unacceptable. To build a great relationship and get a great review, which means testimonials and future business, you need to have a weekly status call with everyone that you are actively working with, both buyers and sellers. Buyers, the call is very quick. Hey, saw you picked out some more stuff. What day should we go see things? Hey, noticed you haven't picked anything else out this week. Should we adjust your search? Should I pick a few out for you? What days are you open to go see some more property? You are setting appointments in these status calls. If they're already under contract, what are you going to be doing if they're already under contract? You are just going to be checking in on the status of their loan. If they are a listing, you are going to go through the activity from the weekend. That's why these are on Tuesdays. Monday, maybe you've got a little bit of a break. You can make some calls for feedback from open houses and weekend showings. But Tuesdays, you check in. You say, hey, we didn't have a lot of feedback this weekend, not a lot of showings. Let's schedule another open house. Or we had a ton of activity. I don't think we need to do anything except make sure that we follow up a little bit more, get more feedback. We're in a great spot. You will determine what that call means, but those calls are to all of your people that are currently in some sort of contractual relationship with you. That's Tuesday. I'm not going to even talk about the rest of the day because guess what? The calls for the rest of the day or everything else for the rest of the day doesn't mean anywhere near as much. So I've got some things on mine, training and interviews you won't even have on yours. I've seen some where the agent's afternoon is blank. They go pick up their kids from school. They enjoy some family time because they've done their work in the morning and then they have their client appointments at night. That's pretty cool. Let's talk about Wednesday. Wednesday, after we do our social media, birthdays, and anniversaries, hot and old leads. What are hot and old leads? Hot leads are obviously anything that's come in the door, a Zillow, Realtor.com, a referral, anything that's coming in that you haven't already gotten to. Now, you should be getting to all of these right away as you're making your calls every day, anything brand new. But once you come in and touch them once, they probably need a little bit more love, don't they? Of course they do. So Wednesday is your hot and old leads. And we're not just talking about piping hot leads. We're talking about leads that are a little stale. Go back and give them some love. Talk to them again. Hey, you know what? You called me back in May and said that we were going to go out and look at some properties. You got pre-approved. What's going on? How are you? Would you like to go out and check some more stuff? Has your criteria changed? Something changed in your world? I would love to still work with you. What's going on? And you update your lead tracker. So hot and old leads right there. That is Wednesday. Thursday. Okay, remember Monday we had VIPs. We're talking to people that are our current clients on Tuesdays, hot leads, new clients on Wednesdays. Thursday is the past clients. You bought a year ago. You bought 2 years ago. I haven't talked to you in 6 years because I'm a terrible realtor. Just kidding. These are the times you just check in and say, hey, what's up? It's been 6 months. I've got a client appreciation party coming up. I've got an education event. I'm doing a movie night. Whatever that is, Thursday is the day you check in with people. You know what? If they haven't given you a referral, a nice testimonial, things like that, it might be a great time to say hi. And if they have, it's a time to say thanks. And if you haven't heard from them and they haven't heard from you, just pick up the phone and say hello. We're coming up on the holiday season. It is a great time to do Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, and check in with people and invite them into something fun and new that's coming up. That is Thursday. Everything makes sense so far, right? Okay, this is not rocket science. This is achievable. It's 2 hours out of your day. Friday is your least fun and most fun day in one. I have come up with this one to kind of trick myself into actually picking up the phone because I hate farming. I can't stand expireds and for sale by owners, to be honest with you, except they've given me a lot of business over the years. So why don't I like them more? I don't know. I just don't like the cold calls. You got to make them. So what I do is I make Friday fun. I do my for sale by owner and expired calls on Fridays. And that also sometimes means some farming in my neighborhood, checking in with people, talking with some business owners, things like that. Then the rest of my Friday, in my 2 hours of lead generation I have time blocked for, is aspirational. What is aspirational? Those are your dream calls. Now, these are also farming calls because these are not people that you're already working with that you just love so much. These are people that you would love to work with. So these are developers, investors, banks, doctors, lawyers, anybody that has a huge database of people they know or a lot of business to give out and is not currently giving you business. If they were currently giving you business, they'd be what? They'd be your VIP. You'd be calling them over here on Monday, right? Okay, so these are a mix of hardcore. If we go back to that funnel we were talking about earlier, remember my funnel over here? If you go back to this funnel, the prospecting and farming, that's half your Friday. And the other half of your Friday, you're trying to build up that amazing referral schedule. So just to think back in those funnel aspects, Friday is a little mix of two of those funnels. So that is your week in a nutshell. Again, not rocket science, nothing too exceptional. What do you have to do? You, number one, have to control your time. What happens in your morning will determine what happens the rest of your day. What you do now in these green areas will determine what happens to you in 2018. Let me say that again. This is, well, I like to use these webinars over and over again, but this is September 7th. What you do in September, these relationships you build now will be referrals, will be future clients, will be new consumers for you in January of 2018. So are you looking for a great 2018? Get started now, but this has to be done in the morning. You have to track who you're calling. So once you're in this time block calendar, what do you need to do? You need to open up and you need to get your lead tracker out if you're getting leads. You need to open up your greatness tracker and say, here's who exactly I'm working with, because I need to see this from you. If I see this time block calendar, I'm like, wow, this is great. Now, are you following this? I can print these out for you and you can put them at your desk all day, but if you're not following it and you're not filling out your greatness tracker, then it doesn't mean anything. So remember, that greatness tracker is another thing from that video I played this morning. You've got to be using all these tools. These all go together in your Blue Beast. If you're an exit, you know what the Blue Beast is. If you don't know what the Blue Beast is, message me, I'll tell you. But this is all you have to do is follow this and the money will come. Follow this and the money will come. I absolutely promise you. I don't care whether you're completely Zillow-based or you've never even turned Zillow on. This will work for you too. Does anyone have any questions for me? Let's see if there's any questions. I'm more than happy to answer. I will be quiet for a minute and see if there's any issues here or any questions. Okay, seeing there are no questions, next action items from you. I'm going to send a copy of this weekly time block calendar out to every single one of you. You can edit it. Now, if you're an exit. If you're not an exit, just email me, nick@nicklibrary.com, and I'll send one to you too. But I need you to edit this for your life and send it back to me. That means if you're taking your kid to school at the 8 o'clock hour, the 9 o'clock hour, don't set yourself up for failure and say, oh, well, that's when I'm going to make my calls. You're not going to make your calls while you're in the car. That's terrible. That's not safe. Fix this to adjust to your life. But whatever your life is, if it's dropping off kids or getting your pet to your pet walker or any sort of distraction, you have got to adjust this for your life and send it back to me so that we know what you should be doing. Do I follow this every day? No. Got to be honest with you, no. I don't follow it every day, but I should. If I should follow this and when I do follow it, I see results. I'll give you an example. Today is Thursday. I got my exercise done at the 6 o'clock hour. It sucked to be up an extra hour early, but I did it. I got in here and I started working. I wished a couple people happy birthdays, did a couple other things. I picked up 3 leads today. 3 leads today just by being present and checking and checking in and interacting with people. That would not have happened if I had sat at home, done my workout later, started talking to existing clients, working on putting out existing fires, and getting generally distracted. 3 new leads. These are going to close in the fourth quarter in 2018. These are solid leads I got. You can do much better than that. You can do this every day. Some of you guys have all the opportunity in the world, a strong database. You're building a better database. If that database just sits there and you don't do this 2 hours a day, that database will die. Someone else will interact with those people and meet them. So it's not enough anymore to just have them in your database and sending the monthly newsletter we do in Promo Shop. It has to be a contact sport. So I really appreciate you guys. We did have one note. Someone said everyone needs to be a 411. Heck yeah, they do. Get to 411. Get me your time block calendar. Read the blog. There is much, much more to come, but you guys have to get involved, okay? You guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I will send you a copy of the time block calendar out so you can edit for yourself. Bye-bye.